I think we might have had one of the best local co-op games of the year just drop on Game Pass. This is available on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, no Switch unfortunately. It's from Coffee Stain. They gave us Hunt Down, one of the best side-scrolling cyberpunk shoot-em-ups out there, and of course Deep Rock Galactic, which is an extremely strong game, satisfactory. There's loads of good stuff on their list. Just to confirm, this is 4-player local co-op on PC as well as Xbox and PlayStation. Doesn't highlight that in the Game Pass synopsis, and usually PC versions of games like this get the split screen stripped, so amazing stuff. And Coffee Stain, I think, are one of the most self-aware and funnier developers out there at the moment. The humour is top-notch in this.
Safety first, 10 and 2 and all that. Anyway, this is the perfect time to give you all the backstory you need.
The Skyrim-style intro, the gormless look of the goats, and the way that their tongues are way too long for their actual heads. It's a brilliant franchise. I reviewed the second one about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just as strong as this.
Man, to be honest, I can't believe you haven't skipped yet.
Completely flawless split and absolutely excellent graphics. I really do love the look of the game, and we're going to talk about what it offers you at the start, because the second one was a little bit daunting. You had the whole city to sort of muck around in. This, the map sort of broken down into chunks. We'll look at the map in a second. It's big enough, but it's the detail, the granular structures, furniture, people, NPCs, vehicles, the stuff that you can interact with is so much richer with this third edition. Also, you can play on keyboard and have a pad as a second controller. So just to confirm that, you don't need 2 controllers on the PC. Someone can be on keyboard and mouse. I reviewed a game called Reliable Delivery Service, I think, and it was kind of in this vein with a split screen. You have an open map, you have jobs, you had to sort of commandeer cars and deliver things. It was okay, but this is like that times like 100 because of the little tasks and accolades that are hidden within the map. And there's a main mission campaign structure. The original Goat simulators were always a little bit loose-ended. You had to sort of look to find structure, but with this it's very much battened down and it feels super good. The production is great, voices, everyone talking, the explosions. I'm going to show you some mad stuff. We couldn't even get on with the first task. We were so distracted with everything around us. The original Goat Simulator's selling point were these brilliant ragdoll physics, and it was all about the tongue and putting things on your tongue, dragging things around, causing as much damage as possible. You might have had a points meter. Think that Burnout Crash mode, it was very good, but it felt a little bit empty. They hadn't really woven in too much main campaign structure or cosmetic options. This has gone crazy. You'll just be so distracted with making your goat look badass. More to the point, you can get on with everything, and the second screen's not bothered or hindered. There is no lag. I saw no frame drops. This could be one of the best local co-op games to come out this year. I am not underselling that. So here is some of the map and UI and sort of screens that you have the options to go through when there's some downtime. If you remember, Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville had this really cool thing where they'd sort of give you a map section, give you friendly NPCs to go and visit, you gather quests, you do various tasks, you feel like you're playing an actual structured campaign-based split-screen game, and this very much has that angle. To then sort of combine that angle with this sandbox destruction is complete genius. You can also commandeer vehicles, full on drive them, lawnmowers, tractors, everything. That is like a whole hidden layer in itself and wasn't really something that was exploited in the previous games. There's also a lot of hidden mini-games within this starter map and a lot of PvP content if you want to initiate it. There's a cool King of the Hill mini-game where you're protecting a set of hay bales, and everywhere you look there is just something fun to do. Progression is going to be super difficult if you're into causing all manner of panic on an open world sandbox map like this.
Watch it! We don't ever see things again.
No! Go back! I think I broke something!
Help!
There's also weapons and secrets in the form of being blessed by the gods. You can find a secret apple, Zeus is involved, you can have flames, everything revolves around destruction, obviously, and making these NPCs' lives very difficult. Also, you can instigate ragdoll. Back to my original point of the Goat Simulator franchise, the ragdoll thing was always very strong. A goat flying through the air, going limp and sort of tumbling around with that tongue out, sort of gave you hours and hours of amusement, and that is definitely still the case.
Stop that!
Is it kid friendly? Just. There is quite a lot of destruction and violence. There's no blood at all, but the things you can do to this poor farm at the beginning are quite outrageous. It's one of those games that I think if you play with your kids, you're going to be getting jokes that they don't and doing things. Just working away in the background at something extremely dangerous, some sort of trap that you've set up for the NPCs to walk in, and hearing their dialogue as well, and they will attack you, they keep kicking you. Not only do you have the classic goat headbutt, but you also have the tongue, so you can sort of grab them, maybe pull them into the pond, set them on fire. You can see what I mean about the kid thing, and that you can have a whole separate set of fun over in your screen, but at the same time get all the unlocks going, get that campaign going, all that dopamine that comes with a new hat or set of antlers. I'm so jealous with not being able to fire this up 4-player local, and I think that split would work perfectly. They really have got that right with it being a vertical as opposed to horizontal. I was really thinking there's got to be something wrong with this. There's got to be micros in it, or there's got to be something wrong with the resolution or frame rates. We have been playing this for hours and hours, and we are going to keep going because I've got to see the other side of that map, and I want to get all of the cool unlocks. Also having to look away from the footage all the time. This is a bit like Gang Beasts, where it's so distracting to watch whilst you're trying to do commentary, but this one is on a whole new level. Some of the stuff your poor goat can do to people or have done to them is limitless. This is one of the best sandbox destruction goat games on earth. I mean, it's the only one, but my god, what a blessing. And Game Pass as well. It's just such a shame we don't see it on Switch. Maybe that's something to do with Coffee Stain or even the performance of the game.
One way or the other.
Just briefly back to the weapons thing, a little bit like Ratchet and Clank, or a little bit like a game that has an element system. So electricity blends with water, things are combustible. That was given to me as a reward. I got, I think, like a plunger on my forehead from Zeus, which enabled me to be able to spray water at things, which turned the whole map upside down because now everybody could get electrocuted if they went anywhere near what I'd been tampering with. I also mustered up 40 minutes of footage as well, which is a rarity for me. I'm just constantly like, oh my god, we need to grab that bit, or this hilarious thing just happened, or I just stole or blew up this. It was constant, and that's a testament to this game's excellence. And I'm very glad that we've seen a hugely strong return to great open world sandbox split screen gaming. This is right at the front of the queue. It's so recommended by me, and we got it right at the end of the year on the Game Pass price, which is really welcome. On the Sony side, it's retailing at around £25 UK. That is feasible, and I don't feel that you would be ripped off with that cost. This is huge. This game, I'm only showing you basically the opening 2.5 hours. I would recommend getting a lot more of that campaign structure done. It's just that we wanted to test everything and have as much fun as possible within this opener because there's just so much to explore, and we're easily distracted, and you will be too. You'll be like, I don't want to have to go up to the Goat Tower and get the campaign on. I'm too busy setting these explosions up. Feels really good to talk positively about a up to 4-player local co-op but relatively new video game from a studio developer that I really enjoy, and I'll put some links into Hunt Down because that is still getting played by myself even on single player. That is a stellar side-scrolling shooter. Anyone who's tried this 4-player local on base level consoles, I'm talking PlayStation 4 or even the Pro, or if you've looked at it on the 5 and you've got those 4 windows going, some feedback in the comments would be very welcome. I have been Couch Coop. I will see you down there.
prisoners in the quarters, among them Osun Mi,